In keeping with tradition of releasing Mortal Kombat related challenge runs for Elden Ring every once in a while, I decided that Reptile would be an interesting character to take a look at. So, can you beat Elden Ring as
Reptile.
The rules are pretty much the same as with the Scorpion build I've released a few weeks ago, but I'll go over them anyway. I need to defeat the shard bearers, I can only heal when the boss is half health or phase transitions, and I cannot use any summons. With a quick intro out of the way,
Let's get to it.
I tried my best to replicate the reptilian features of, well, Reptile, but in the end he turned out to look more like a frog than Reptile, but oh well. Please don't make any jokes about Mark Zuckerberg in the comments. I left the Church of Anticipation, got porn from Melina, conversed with my relatives, and went over to Kaylee to grab my first weapon, the Venomous Fang. I then had to kill Patches to get his armor. I made a lot of research, and as it turns out, it's literally one of the very few armors in the game that is green. If I missed some outfit that is a better fit for this character, do tell me in the comments. I mean, it's not the best, but it's good enough. Onwards to the other things I needed: Dectus Medallion, Dragoon's Sword Seal, Bell Bearings 1 and 2, and one of the more essential talismans for this build, the Kindred of Rot Exaltation. I then decided to progress Millicent's questline to get the pest threads from Gowry, which are going to be the stand-in for Reptile's Acid Spit, or perhaps his Poison Ball. I mean, I got the stuff.
As well made.
Forgiving me. I think it might be.
Oh boy, 3.5 hours of setup later, I began the tournament with fighting my first opponent, Margit. Venomous Fang applies the deadly poison debuff, which lasts less than regular poison, but it deals more damage, which in my opinion is a big W for this weapon. The fight itself took some time, but after some time I did manage to beat this big bully.
Round 1. Fight.
Moving on to the second opponent, Godric, who was surprisingly painful to fight against with this build, primarily because I haven't leveled my character up that much at that point, basically fighting both Margit and Godric at the level you're intended to fight them. Moving on to Renala, who was tough, but nothing a bit of face massaging can't fix. With Renala out of the way, I got a very fitting curved sword, and Reptile did use a sword in the 3D era, and with it I would be able to use Poison Moth's Fight, which I quickly went out to grab. I mean, I got the stuff.
Round 1. Fight.
I needed the black wet blade located in Nokran to be able to apply poison and bleed affinities to my weapons, so Radahn had to go down.
Round 2. Fight.
With the bleed affinity at my fingertips, I could finally take down Grail for the much needed levels. After Grail evaporated, I consumed the hearts of your kids to get the cool looking dragon eyes, and went out to grab 2 crucible incantations, the Horns, which is a stand-in for Reptile's Slide, and Tail as a stand-in for something. not sure what exactly, but it has a dragon tail, and Reptile had a tail in the 3D era, so yeah. I then cleared out Lane Dell up to the Earthtree Sanctuary site of Grace. I went over to Volcano Manor to get Royal Knight's Resolve, which I would use eventually.
Round 1. Fight.
Morgoth was something. I have very mixed feelings about using this build when fighting him. Poison Moth's Flight is a great punish for when he charges at you. That's literally the only benefit that this build has. Other than that, it's quite clunky. Morgoth was also prone to moving away from the poison clouds, making it very difficult to poison him. And I didn't want to get in too close to him as I was terrified of his 15-hit combos putting me into an early grave, but a few hours later I managed to put him down. Okay, mountaintops. Reptiles don't like cold environments, so I had to move quickly. Bellbearing, Nile, Elfile, Mogwin Palace, Fire Giant. Who surprisingly wasn't a pain in the rear this time around, which I appreciate. Hugging his shin and whacking away at it with the sword is a strategy that works well, so no need in trying to come up with something new. Poison did also do a decent amount of damage to him while he was running away, and after a few attempts, the Fire Giant went down. Alright, I hate this. I tried for so long to do the Godskins without exploits, but look, I am not damaging them with the Slate pods, so I think this strat checks out. Besides, I value my sanity and I didn't want to spend more than 3 hours on a poorly designed boss, so yeah.
Round 1. Fight.
Don't you find it very interesting when you're super concentrated on something for several hours, and then your brain just goes into autopilot? Yeah, that's what happened to me during Malekith's boss fight.
Fight! Victory. Fatality.
Sir Gideon Ofnir, the All-Blowing.
Long and hard as my ring.
Round 1. Fight.
At this point, I really have no idea what to say about Godfrey. I've said multiple times that I love this boss fight. No matter how bad the build is, I'm still probably gonna have a lot of fun fighting Godfrey.
Round 2. Fight. Brutality. Reptile wins.
With Rykard, everything went according to the script. Fight him for an hour or so, beating the god-devouring serpent face consistently on each attempt with the build's weapons. Then, revert to using the Serpent Hunter for phase 2 after getting tired of Rykard's wonky hitbox. It's a gimmick boss. I, just like any other content creator, wishes for Rykard in phase 2 to have a better hitbox, but hey, what are you gonna do? I was nearing the end of the game into becoming Elden Lord, and I really needed some runes, so Placidius Axe had to go down for the greater good of the world.
Round 1. Fight.
Up next, Moog. I swear, with each run I'm starting to love this adorable incest-loving maniac more and more. Also, thank Myrika for charged attacks and stance breaks in this game, because, let's face it, I would not have been able to defeat Moog without them. Radagon is very resistant to all statuses, and after a lot of experimenting, I decided upon using the double slash Ash of War with the poison armament incantation to apply poison to this bad boy as quickly as I could, getting some charged heavies here and there, and getting some riposts. Elden Beast though is completely immune to all statuses. I still applied poison armament here and there just for the looks, but the general strat was just spam heavy attacks and pray for him not to be moving around too much, which eventually worked out even if it was tedious and boring. With the Elden Beast defeated, Reptile could restore the glory of his Saurian people once again, as the Elden Lord. What? I missed the boss? No, that can't be right. I finished the game. There's definitely nothing else to... 12 hours. 12 fucking hours. Over the course of 2 days is how long it took me to beat Malenia with this build. I haven't modded so hard over losing to Malenia since the release of the game. What you're watching right now is the winning attempt, which lasted for 8 minutes. 8 minutes of me on the verge of going insane over every move she made. Specifically Waterfowl Dance, which I don't know why, but she was spamming it constantly. I had one attempt where she spammed it 6 times. 4 times in phase 1 and 2 times in phase 2. Like, why? Did they shadow buff her or something? Anyway, I eventually beat her, even if at the end of the day I haven't used poison for phase 2 all that much, making it less reptile and more like regular build, but whatever. That's what I get for choosing Malenia for so damn much, I guess. So, how's the build?
Not great, not terrible.
Well, how is it in the endgame?
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Well then, how does it fare against Malenia?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I am honestly torn on this build. It's okay at best. Poison isn't really something you need to center your build around. It's a great support status which pairs well with Bleed or Scarlet Rot, as the damage over time isn't all that impressive compared to the superior Scarlet Rot. This build is definitely not amongst my favorites, as playing with it was pure torture some of the times, but still, if you want to try it out, here are the stats for the talismans for PvE and for PvP. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching, have a good one, peace.